So in this video, I'm going to talk about the nucleus. And so the nucleus is the largest organelle. And so as a result, you could usually see it with a light microscope, which is essentially the microscope with the least amount of magnification. And so it's visible with a light microscope, while other organelles you would require a stronger microscope. So let's talk about the anatomy of the nucleus a little bit. The nuclear envelope is located right here. It's this like outer blue thing. And so essentially that's the nuclear envelope. And it's bilayer. So the membrane is bilayered, which means it just has two layers. And so the nucleus creates important things that need to be used outside of the nucleus, such as mRNA. And so as you can see, these little orange things are called nuclear pores. So they essentially allow things to leave and enter the nucleus. So most specifically, mRNA. So these nuclear pores regulate the passage of materials. And they're formed by rings of proteins. So the pore is made up of proteins. And so inside the nucleus you have the nucleoplasm, and it contains the genetic material. And it's important to remember that inside the nucleus is not all DNA. So that's important. The DNA is wrapped around stones called histones in order to fit more of them in such a small space, essentially. And so the next thing we're going to talk about is a nucleolus, which is the space where ribosomes are made. So ribosomes are made in the nucleolus. But it's important to remember that the nucleolus makes the subunits. So a ribosome kind of looks like a hamburger bun, and so the nucleolus makes the bun, like the top and bottom, but it's assembled outside of the nucleus. And so some cells can have many nuclei while others have none. For example, red blood cells have many nucleus, while red blood cells have no nucleus, while muscle cells could have many nuclei. And finally, one thing I forgot to mention is the genetic material is generally referred to as chromatin. Chromatin is made up of DNA and protein, and so when chromatin is condensed, like very, very tightly condensed, usually in mitosis, for example, that form of the chromatin is called a chromosome. So that might be a little confusing for some people. But that essentially summarizes everything for the nucleus. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with your friends.